Hey, Regina here at Tarot in Time, and I am here with the April month ahead tarot and astrology forecast. And I'm really excited to talk to you about April because it's the first sign of the new zodiac year. So we're starting off fresh with new things, and we also have not one but two new moons in the sign of Aries. So, starting off the new zodiac year, it's spring season, and then we get not only one new moon, which is about new things and wishes and placing your order and all of that kind of stuff, new stuff coming in. We get two chances at it. So I think it's going to be a really interesting month. We also have Mercury Retrograde starting this month. So let's talk about what you need to know. For those of you who are regulars here, you know that I'm going to go through the whole month, week by week. And I know it can be a lot of information, so it will be cut up into video clips later that will be posted weekly. So you don't have to worry about absorbing it all at once, okay? The weeks will be timestamped below. Then we will jump into a tarot reading. And I'm using a little bit of a different format this reading. Why not? It's a new year, new ideas. So we're gonna talk specifically about, I'm using this spread that I made up. And basically the bottom two are how do we stay grounded moving forward? We have themes of work and love in the middle. And up at the top, we have new moon energy, two of them, because we have two new moons in Aries, okay? So we're gonna see what new stuff is coming in, because I don't know about you, but I am excited about new stuff. I am ready to move out of this winter season. And so it's really exciting to think about what new things are coming in, but definitely talking about how to stay grounded through it, okay? So let's start off where we left off, which our new month ahead starts on 4/3. And this is a full moon week. Now we know that the sun is presently in the sign of Aries. So the full moon is always in the sign opposite. So the sign Aries is all about you, who you are, how you show up in the world. And the sign across from it is Libra. And Libra is everyone else. It's relationships. It's finding the balance, okay? So anytime we have a full moon week, we know things can be a little wild and crazy. We're going to start off with the 3rd, and the moon will be in Virgo. Now, I put down a little gentleness towards yourself will go a long way. Sometimes the Virgo it's a very efficient sign. It likes things a certain way. It likes to put things in order, likes to be of service. It has to do with health and wellness and your contribution to the world. Sometimes Virgo can get a little nitpicky too. And so this from a person who has a lot of planets in Virgo's house. So you want to be gentle to yourself. Let's not get too detailed. Let's use the precision to help us, but not to hinder us from moving forward. Now, we have, there's a lot of trines at the beginning of the week with the moon, with Mercury and Venus and Uranus, and trines are considered positive aspects, okay? Now, Mercury, the planet of communication, is going to move into the sign of Taurus, this earth sign, right at the beginning of the week. So Mercury wants to communicate, right? Mercury rules roadways and travel. It's a messenger, wants to bring us information. And Taurus is all about value. It's ruled by Venus. It rules relationships. And so there can be a lot of information coming in, maybe things that affect our relationships. Again, that can be love, that can be friends, that can be work. But let's be precise but gentle to ourselves starting the week off. Let's get your moon water out because we're heading into that full moon. So on Tuesday, we'll spend the day with the moon in Virgo and towards the end of the day by dinner. And again, this is based on Eastern Standard Time. By dinner time, the moon will move into Libra. So we're going to be heading to that full moon, okay? Because this is the relationship full moon, and because we're in Aries season, and Aries is ruled by Mars, the god of war, pushing ahead, we want to be really, really careful in our relationships that we don't fight, that we don't really, I put down actually for the full moon, don't fight. Even if you're right, you will lose. So be careful in your relationships this week. It's going to be really emotional. Every full moon is emotional. But when Libra equals relationships and full moon equals emotions, it can get a little complicated. So, and then you can put Aries in there and things can get feisty. It can also get really passionate. So why don't you envision it passionate, but without the fighting part of it, okay? So full Libra moon by Thursday the 6th. There's going to be some aspects with Chiron, and it's going to be opposite the full moon and the sun and Jupiter. And whenever Jupiter's involved, things get bigger. So you may feel a lot of emotions coming up. I also noticed that the moon is like on one side of the chart and then all the other planets are on the others. So it almost felt like the moon was steering all the other planets. And the moon is known for emotions, and we're talking about a full moon. So you may have memories of childhood come up. You may be like reflecting a lot on the past. Just be kind to yourself. Be kind to the inner kid. Know that this will pass, and don't burn any bridges in the process, okay? Now, by Friday the 7th, the moon's going to move into Scorpio. And so sometimes Scorpio likes to be alone. It can go really deep into emotions. So it's a very emotional week. And even though the moon will have moved out of the sign of Libra, that full moon effect still affects us for a few days. So keep that in mind. If you need some alone time, maybe Friday is a good day to do that, or maybe over the weekend. Be humble and be kind, and luck just might be on your side after all, is what I wrote down for Friday the 7th. Okay, Saturday, I would be writing in your journal all your feelings and not voicing them, okay? Avoid the drama. And then we have Easter on Sunday. So the moon in Scorpio is going to be opposite Venus, and I just basically wrote down, make sure that mom's happy or no one will be. So I know sometimes on the holidays you focus on the kids or you focus on family members, but make sure, especially with this Venus full moon, because Libra is ruled by Venus, and having this moon opposite Venus, Venus wants something. Anytime you have an opposition, one side needs something, one side needs the other. Kind of looks like Libra again, right? Balancing. And so make sure that your relationships are smooth. Let's not get into it. Let's keep things peaceful. Flowers, Easter people are always giving each other flowers. Make sure the woman of the family is really tended to that day, okay? All right, so we're going to move on. Oh, let me talk about, before we move on, let's talk about Mercury to Taurus some more. So I wrote down for Mercury and Taurus that happens on April 3rd, which was Monday. Take care of important financial paperwork and trip planning before Mercury retrograde begins on 4/21. It's going to go until May 14th, okay? So that could look like your taxes, right? So if your taxes aren't filed by 4/3, make sure your extensions are in place. Make sure that you have a plan before this retrograde starts, okay? Because Mercury and then Taurus, which rules money, rules any valuables, right? It's really important right now. So if there's anything you need to sign, any documents you need to sign, any contracts that need to be made, get it done before the retrograde begins on 4/21. So we have the week of 4/10 to 4/16. We start off the week with Venus moving into the sign of Gemini. So Venus rules love, self-love, relationships, especially relationships with women, anything of value, okay? Moving into this really social air sign of Gemini. So it's a social time, it's a fun time, it's a lighthearted time, it's a good time to get out and about. We have spring in the air. And so that might be a nice shift for us all, having Venus move into Gemini. So on Monday the 10th, be really careful with your words. And I'm still talking about making sure the women in your life are happy, okay? We have the moon opposite Venus. Now on Tuesday the 11th, you want to make sure that you don't let your emotions get the best of you. Choose love, choose kindness, be to yourself and to others, okay? The moon is going to be square Neptune. There are some trines. One of them is between the sun and the moon itself. So just sometimes when Neptune's involved and the moon's involved, we can get really emotional or things can get really unclear. Just know that will pass, okay? That's on Tuesday the 11th. On the 12th, you want to make some plans for upcoming changes you would like to make. We have some Pluto energy there, and there's a lot of planning energy. So let's go ahead and make the plans. Look at the things that need to change, okay? Thursday the 13th, it's easy to overindulge. We have a square with Jupiter, but we do have some nice trines with Mercury and Venus. So choose wisely and enjoy, okay? Friday the 14th, don't say it, just be flexible and kind of roll with the predicted unpredictability, because it's going to be a lot of Aquarius energy. And you've heard me talking about Aquarius before. It's very predictably unpredictable. So just kind of go with what you can. It's really hard to plan for it, but don't do a lot of speaking, okay? On the weekend, I wrote Saturday, keep your mouth shut and be flexible. And Sunday, motivation is high because there's some Mars energy going on, but the square with Venus makes relationships difficult. Kind of noticed a lot of this back and forth in April. So just be careful. Don't push too hard, because when Mars is involved, it wants to push. And the square with Venus can make things a little bit trickier. So just be gentle, keep things light. And flowers never hurt anybody. So go ahead and maybe keep some bulbs nearby to give out as gifts. All right, we'll be heading into a new moon week for the following week. So this is one of our new moons, one of 2 new moons in the sign of Aries, which I think is really cool. I guess it only happens every like 36 months is what I've read. So we're talking like 3 years here when you see these double new moons. And I think that's pretty wild. I've only been doing this astrology report written like this for maybe 2.5 years. So I hadn't come upon this before, and I almost thought I made a mistake. But I think it's going to be really interesting to have the first new moon, right? The first one was on March 21st. And so kind of paying attention to what happened on March 21st, and then seeing what the second new moon in Aries brings us on 4/20. Okay, so I would really be journaling about that, see what's going on in those dates. So we start off the week of 4/17. I put for the 17th, it's a little bit of a lighter day. Rest, envision, create, heal. Okay. On the 18th, things are not clear. We've got the moon really close to Neptune. Keep envisioning what you want, but wait to take action a little bit longer. Okay. So just kind of swimming in the ideas and the feelings. The 19th, you want to start placing your order, right, for this new moon. So make a list of what new feelings, what new situations, etc., that you want to bring, you want this new moon to bring you. Reflecting back to what you were asking for in 3/21, looking at what's been given to you and what more, kind of editing that order, okay? You want your moon water out, don't forget about that. And so on Friday the 21st, well, back up, 4/20, after the new moon, I wrote, life is showing you what needs to be let go of, because we also have a solar eclipse going on, okay? We've got some Pluto energy, so pay attention to what is showing you that it needs to be let go of. On 4/21, you're gonna wanna finish that shopping early, like real early, because at 4:35 a.m., Mercury Retrograde is going to begin, okay? And we're gonna talk more about that. The weekend of 4/22 to 4/23 is a Gemini weekend. The moon will be in the sign of Gemini. Well, Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury. Mercury is moving backwards. Interesting energy. So see how it is, see how you feel. Saturday's Earth Day. Don't be too stubborn, was my advice. And on Sunday, keep things light and enjoy. There's been a lot about keeping it light, not having any major serious talks, showing love, bringing flowers, being gentle, a lot of that kind of energy this month, because it's very easy to just push through things with Mars. Mars rules Aries, and we need to kind of slow it down just a little. Now on the 20th, I forgot to mention, not only do we have the new moon, the second new moon, but we have the sun moving into the beautiful earthy sign of Taurus, okay, which is also ruled by Venus. So beautiful season to be moving into. Let's talk a little bit about Mercury retrograde, okay? Now, Mercury retrograde beginning 4/21 at 4:35 a.m. It's going to begin, Mercury will be at 15 degrees Taurus, 15 degrees of this earth sign, okay? And as it travels backwards, right? Or it feels, we feel the effect of it as if it were moving backwards. As we move to 5/14, May 14th, Mercury will be at 5 degrees Taurus, okay? So it's gonna have moved back 10 degrees. The last time Mercury was at 5 degrees Taurus was April 7th, okay? So you're gonna wanna see what was going on April 7th. It's kind of like we wanna pay attention to a lot of this time period because 3/21 was our first Aries New Moon. So we're kind of looking at that date. Then we're looking at what's been going on since 4/7, what themes were coming up. Because Mercury retrograde, we run over this same ground. We run over this same conversations, these same themes. So when you have, so from 4/21 to 5/14, we're gonna have moved back energetically to the same as 4/7. So let's see, because Mercury retrograde is like, we're moving along, then it goes back, then it goes direct, right? So almost 3 times over the same ground. So once it goes direct on 5/14, it's gonna move forward all the way till 5/31. It's gonna go back over that ground. So you're gonna wanna be paying attention from 3/21 at that first Aries New Moon, 4/7, thinking about these themes that are coming up from 4/7 to 4/21, and all the way through 5/14. And then when we think we're out of the woods when Mercury retrograde ends on 5/14, but we really want to pay attention to that last swoop over that same ground. That will go through until May 31st. So we really won't be on fresh new energy until June 1st. So I always find that there's a gift in Mercury retrograde, that there's some valuable piece of information that comes out, that going back over this ground helps us to re-look at things and to really have an opportunity to get the best, to relearn, to be aware of what's going on. And so I encourage you to do that, okay? And I will be posting that Mercury retrograde rant later on for you if you want to listen to it again later as we get closer to Mercury retrograde. Okay, so then we move into the week of 4/24 through 4/30, right into the retrograde period. And we're starting off with Monday the 24th. We have the moon in Cancer. Things can, you know how emotional things can get in Cancer. It can. Emotions run high, but don't let them sink you on Monday the 24th, okay? Monday the 25th, there's a lot of creative energy. So if you get a chance to do something creative, like paint or draw, or just go walk around like a flower shop, somewhere that sells plants, just to get some good vibes and to get creative energy, or go walk around an art gallery, okay? Wednesday the 26th is a great day to get a massage or do something kind for yourself, as small as that can be. Maybe just take a bath, okay? This whole week is about gentleness, about self-care. Thursday the 27th, my advice is self-care isn't selfish, so make sure that you are giving that to yourself. Friday the 28th is not a great time to speak up, but just keep busy doing your thing. The moon is moved into Leo. Leo likes to do what they want to do, so do what you want to do. For the weekend of the 29th, the moon will still be in Leo in the morning on Saturday, so take your me time. It's really healthy for you. Save the errands for either later in the afternoon on Saturday or on Sunday. On Sunday, you can speak now. The moon will have moved into Virgo. You can speak up now if you'd like to, with gentleness and kindness. But just know that everything that happens right now, especially the conversations that you have, because conversations would be ruled by Mercury, right? And Mercury's in retrograde, and we are going to revisit this time period. So be aware of that before you pick any battles or share some deep emotions that, maybe you just want to clear the air, but know that it will be revisited, okay? So a very interesting month of April. I think we're going to feel a lot of the shifts. Like if you've been feeling stagnant, we were in Pisces season. So things can feel stagnant in Pisces season. You know, you think of the Hanged Man card where the universe has you by the foot. That's kind of Pisces energy, right? So we've been through that. It can feel emotional. It can feel dreamy. It can feel confusing. It can feel spiritual. It can feel a time of rest. But now we're pushing into Aries season. There's going to be a lot of shifts. We also have the planet Pluto just starting its first degrees of, it's actually 0 degrees of Aquarius, right? This is a huge, huge monumental shift of planets. Pluto, once it retrogrades back into Capricorn a couple times, it's going to finally leave the sign Capricorn, and it's never going to come back to Capricorn in your lifetime. So this is a big deal. So there's big shifts. Saturn just moved into the sign of Pisces. It's going to be there for 2.5 years. This all just is happening recent, okay? So just know that there's fresh energy coming in, okay? And I hope that brings you some peace. So speaking of fresh energy, we are going to use this spread that I made just to be a little bit more focused in our readings. I wanted to try something new. We really want to see what the energy, the new energy that's coming in through these 2 new moons are. We're going to focus on the main themes, which most people want to talk about in a tarot reading, which are work, career, focus, and love, family, relationships, all of that, okay? And we're really going to delve into how to stay grounded so you can get the most out of these new opportunities, okay? So I am working with a couple decks here today. I use my pendulum to choose. And you're going to pick your pile, whichever jumps out to you first. We have the Dragonfly for pile number 1. We have this really cool owl for pile number 2. And pile number 3 has this bat, okay? So go ahead, pick your pile. Let's get started. I haven't looked at any of these cards yet. I'm just working with 2 decks today. My pendulum was pretty clear with me that I wanted to work with the Spellcasters and the Green Witch. I don't take the Spellcasters out too much in readings. It's pretty intense, but I wanted to be here, so we're going to use it. And we have the Oracle of Mystical Moments that we'll throw in there at the end, okay? So let's talk about what the energy of these new moons are bringing in. So our first one on 3/21, and then our second one on 4/20, okay? So we'll see what the energy of that is bringing in for you. We have the theme of love here, the theme of work, and how to stay grounded, okay? So let's see what you need to know here. So our first thing here, let's start off with what the energy of the first new moon is bringing you. And we have the Queen of Swords. Now she's the Queen of Communication. Like how she's got the bowl there next to her, and that's very fitting with Mercury in the sign of Taurus, okay? So sometimes, you know, Taurus can be very stubborn. It can be very powerful too. She's the Queen of Communication. She's an air queen. She's a queen of big business. She is not afraid to make the boundaries that need to be made, okay? So the first energy that's coming in, March 21st, you're receiving this Queen of Swords energy. So if there's boundaries that need to be made, if there's something that needs to be said, again, you have to choose wisely when that's done, but this can be written out and this can be planned for. Okay, she's a very dynamic powerhouse queen. Okay, again, the cards are non-gender, so she's the energy of receiving information, putting you into a power position, okay? Now, the second new moon that's coming in on 4/20 is bringing you the Ace of Wands. Ace being a 1, something new. I love how like the heavens are clearing and here is your Ace of Wands. New inspiration. I mean, Ace of Wands really feels to me like an Aries new moon in a lot of ways because Aries is a fire sign, Wands is fire. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. This is a 1. Okay, so there's new ideas, there's new information, there's new plans, there's new excitement. There's new ways of thinking. There's new opportunities, okay? But not forgetting that this Queen of Swords, she's not going to take any nonsense. She's not going to just let people walk all over her. She knows what's important and what's of value. Okay, so choosing very wisely. This feels almost like a new business plan. This feels like a fresh idea coming in. Okay, so that is your new moon energy. Now let's see what's going on here in the love situation. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Now she's tending to her plant there. She's watering it. She's got her crystals. She's doing whatever she needs to do to take care of, grow this immense plant. Now, 7 is your spiritual path. 7 is the number of the year this year in numerology. 2023 equals the number 7. The dog's kind of fast asleep because he's probably used to her routine, right? And she's really patient. She knows that she's growing something here. And so this is you knowing that in your love relationships, in your love with yourself, with the love of friends, with the love, whatever your theme of love is, there's some tending that needs to be given. There's some patience that needs to be made, to be given to yourself, and just kind of cultivating, okay? Now, for your work position, you have the Holy King. This is the Hermit card, okay? This is, the Hermit is your inner guide. He is, he has the wisdom. He knows, you know, I was told that he's the fool grown up. So he has wisdom now. He's been through a lot. He knows how, has a better understanding how things work. He's guiding you forward. And so in work, because I got a lot of work vibes from this with the new moon, that there's some new things coming in. But you need to trust that inner feeling, that inner calling to pull you in the right direction. Okay. This is a major arcana. This is the first major arcana that came up in your reading. This is the major secrets of life card. Okay. And so this is you trusting that inner voice. Now, how do you stay grounded through this month? I've got one card over here, which is actually the King of Swords. In this deck, it's called the King of Athams, but I know him as the King of Swords. Now, interesting that you had the Queen up here. You got the King here. How to stay grounded. So if you're in a partnership, there's your other partner. Now he's opening all these letters. He's got a bunch of scrolls in the background. Looks like he's been doing a lot of writing. I'm not sure what plant this is here, but it's grown very big. He's communicating. So how do you stay grounded? Keeping things in order. You know, the Holy King here, he's ruled by Virgo, who likes to keep things in order. Here's all of that, all your correspondence, all of your things in order. Okay. And how to stay grounded. You got 2 cards of advice here. You have the Star. This is your second major arcana that's come up. This is Aquarius, ruled by the planet Uranus. Now, I like how she's pouring some things out. She's pouring from her small cup into the big pool. And she's like a fairy here. That star shining bright behind her. So have the wisdom to know when things need to be given up or removed, or passing on something. This divine energy of the star communicating with you, giving you the genius energy to know what things are for you and what things are not. Okay, the star's often associated with like a cleansing, a clearing. Okay, so it's also the Star, which just feels like fame to me in some ways. But how to stay grounded. So how to stay grounded? Well, she's swimming in the water, or she's in this pool of water. And she doesn't, I guess there's no lack. She has these cups, the water's almost like circulating back through. And so kind of, I guess I'm getting the vibe of like not thinking that there's lack, knowing that things take time, knowing that sometimes things have to be passed on that aren't for you, and having the patience here to grow what it is that you want to grow, trusting that inner voice, and really staying on top of your paperwork is what I'm getting. Now, I'm going to pull a couple more cards just for some clarity. Did we miss anything here? Is there anything else important that you need to know this month of April? We have the Page of Chalices. I'm getting 3 cards. Okay. Page of Chalices, Page of Cups, originally called. I love that there's this blank canvas. She's by the river, which feels like the Star card again. And she's got this ability to be creative here. She's given the space and the time to be able to get her paints out and to do something satisfying, okay? Very beautiful. Creating, it's a blank canvas. You get to create something new. And this Ace of Wands really felt like there's something new coming in by that second new moon. Now let's see what else we have. We have the High Priest. This is the Hierophant card. He's a major arcana also. He's about change. Card number 5. And the background there really reminds me of this Ace of Wands, the way the light's shining in. And he's kind of mixing up his magic, really, and asking for what he wants, being like very specific. This kind of feels like Moses to me when he was getting the 10 Commandments, having this conversation with God, his higher power. Okay, so ask directly for what it is that you want. And here's the 7 of Wands. It's your second number 7 that's come up. She's placing her wands up there to be seen. And I almost feel like this is like giving yourself some credit for what you've done, what you've been doing. Almost putting it on display to be seen. Okay. All right. We're going to pull 2 oracles to see what else, anything else themes for the month of April for you. And we're going to give you 2 of those. Stranded. It's an interesting one. The boat up in the trees and the anchor coming down stranded. It feels very Neptune-like. It's almost like a dream, right? Almost like a dream. And it came in next to this Page of Cups, which is like this creative energy. So it's almost like you could be receiving creative ideas in your dreams. If she painted that, it'd be a really cool painting. And the Gardener. I love the art of this deck. So the Gardener here, how interesting. Her dress is houses. She's growing something here. Okay. So just kind of and interesting, the Gardener, and here she was taking care of her plant here. So this month of April, maybe you're gonna have a garden this year. But there's like, I'm getting creative energy around you. I think you're gonna be really busy with your business stuff that's going on. Your love relationships, just hang in there, be patient. You're building something, you're tending to something. It's almost like you've done all that you can do, because I love that she's watering the plant, but she's also got all these crystals. She's tried a lot of different methods. Okay. And she's successful. The plant's huge. So give it some time to grow and let yourself enjoy the growth period. Okay. So this is what I have for you. Have a wonderful month ahead. Pile number 2 is called Owl. All right, so haven't looked at any of these cards yet. We're going to use this spread here talking about the 2 new moons in the month and how to stay grounded and some themes of love and work, okay? I'm using some fun decks. I'm actually using the Spellcaster's Tarot, which I don't use very often. cards are pretty intense, but we're going to use them today. And the Green Witch Tarot. I used my pendulum to choose these, so they were pretty specific which ones wanted to be used. And our oracle today is Oracle of Mystical Moments, okay? So let's go ahead and see what we have. We're talking about the new moon. We have 2 of them. Themes of love, work, and then how to stay grounded, okay? So let's start off with the first new moon, first Aries new moon on March 21st. And what was coming in then, okay? What was that new moon energy about for you? And you have the Lovers card. This is an interesting Lovers card here from the spellcasters. Okay, this Lovers card, they're what's it called? Hand fasting, I think. Making a commitment. And the Lovers is a Gemini card in tarot. It's about choices, okay? Interesting how there's an X through that heart. Okay, so that was your new moon energy on the 21st, that you had choices. There's themes of commitment, the Lovers. Okay, now let's see, as your second new moon happens on the 20th of April, second new moon in Aries, what is coming in? It's kind of a completion of that first new moon. And we have the Earth Mother. So you had major arcanas in both positions. Major Secret of Life cards. These are the real powerhouse cards. This is the Empress card traditionally. Okay, interesting from the Lovers to she's pregnant here. Okay, she's the fertile earth. She's spring energy. She's abundance. She's ruled by Venus. Okay, giving birth to something beautiful. Okay, not bad cards to start off with here. Okay, so let's see what's going on in regards to love this month for you. And we have the King of Chalices, or the King of Cups. There's definitely plenty there. Okay, he's the king of emotions. He would be considered king of water, king of music, king of anything satisfying, really. Again, the cards are non-gender, so this is about pursuing that kind of energy. Okay, I like how there's a bee up there. So in love, it definitely looks like there's a lot of options on the table. There's a lot of different dishes being served, and you're in a power position. Now, your themes of work. You have the 2 of Cups. 2 is a relationship number. Cups, again, is the emotions. Look at all those little turtles down there. 2 of Cups, 2 of emotions, 2 of satisfaction. Okay, looks like interesting how the love theme was the King of Cups and the work theme is a 2 of Cups. In balance. It kind of has a similarity to this. Okay. So, making sure your relationships are balanced in the work field also. Now, we have 2 cards here about how you can stay grounded and clear through this month, okay? Your first card is Judgment. This is card number 20, which is also considered a 2. Judgment is a Scorpio card, so it's associated with water element, and there is a transformation happening here. Okay, it looks like it's all being orchestrated from the top. Okay, so how to stay grounded is to accept these changes, to lay some old things to rest. A lot of times Judgment card is about releasing the old to make room for the new. There's a lot of joy there. There's an open-heartedness there. Some old pains from the past being cleared up. Okay, so how to stay grounded with the Judgment card is to be able to accept that there's a bigger picture here, to be ready for the transformation, to be willing. It's really what it boils down to. Your other how to stay grounded card is the 10 of Cups. Got a lot of water here. This is traditionally called the Happy Family card. I love how they're just savoring this beautiful moment in time. Okay, so even though there's changes happening, right? Clearing out, opening up for newness, letting some of that old burn off. And there's a lot of joy here. And things are changing because this is a 10. In numerology, we call it 10 of 1. But in being in the moment, enjoying that joy. Little girls picking flowers. It's very peaceful. Okay, so that's how to stay grounded. Your family, your friendships, staying in the moment, enjoying it. Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple more cards just to see if I missed anything. Is there anything else important that you need to know this month ahead? And I'm going to give you 3 cards. Anything else? Well, I guess you're getting 2 there. All right, so your first card is the Page of Wands. It's young energy. It's very magical. He's practicing his magic, right? Taking the time out to savor and enjoy and to play. It's important. She got a lot of major arcanas, which sometimes can be intense. Making sure that you're not overlooking the joy times, to putting down the work for a second, just having fun. The 3 of Wands, ship is being loaded with, or maybe unloaded. No, I think it's being loaded because the 3 of Wands is about going and dreaming about going. Okay. So he's really thinking about where he wants to go, what he wants to do. Kind of has a playfulness to that too. And then I was going to only give you 3 cards, but you ended up with 4. And one of them is the Emperor. This is Aries. And one of them is the Knight of Swords. Very fast moving energy, okay? Now the Emperor, he's kind of like about action and inaction, right? He's like this forest lord here. This fire burning in the background, but he doesn't look like he's rushed, okay? But yet this card is rushed. So there may be some energy of feeling like you have to be pushed into making some decisions. But the Emperor knows to bide his time, that he will make the decision when he makes the decision, because it's big decisions, okay? So don't let anyone push you forward through that. Think about truly where you want to be going and what you want to be doing, and making sure that you're getting these moments, these little moments that give you the rest, that give you the joy, okay? Because that's what's keeping you grounded. There looks like there's some big changes coming in for you here with the Judgment card, okay? But I see you in a really powerful position with the Emperor here. And the Emperor and the Empress are a couple, okay? So there's a lot of power here. And this is really in now. The Emperor is Aries season. The Earth Mother is Taurus season. These are all the themes that we're talking about right now. Okay, so I see you in a really good position as long as you're making the space for the fun and the small joys and rolling with the changes that need to be made, allowing, being willing. Why am I choosing more cards? I guess you're getting one more here. And you got the Emperor again. This is from the Green Witch, and this is called the Horned God, which was funny. That's what I referred to him as. Here's another version. Okay, he doesn't look rushed. He's at peace. He's one with nature and really savoring that connection. Okay, so see you in a really powerful position for new things coming in. Now, let's give you an oracle or 2. Anything else you need to know here? You have Abracadabra. It's almost like the magician. Look at her. Wow. All right, not a bad card, Abracadabra, and Bloom. How lovely. So spring-like, so beautiful. Perfect timing here for you. All right, so you got the magic to make it happen. Be willing to allow these changes. If you don't know what these changes are, then just ask. Please show me what needs to change. I don't need to know the answers. I just need to be willing, okay? I see you moving into a powerful new time. I see you being supported through this, through your family, or through savoring nature and savoring the moment, okay? Have a great month ahead. Pile number 3, this fun bat. All right, let's see what you need to know this month ahead. I'm working with a couple different decks here. I've got the Spellcasters, which I don't use that often, but it definitely, my pendulum, I used it to choose, and this one wanted to be here. We have the Green Witch Tarot, one of my favorites lately. And those are the only 2 that wanted to be part of this reading, along with this Oracle of Mystical Moments, okay? So we're using our spreadsheet here. We're talking about the energy that these 2 new moon in Aries are bringing in for you this month. We're talking about the themes of love and work, and we're talking about how you can stay grounded through this, okay? So I haven't looked at any of these cards yet. I'm laying them out in the positions of the reading. Let's see what you need to know. So we're going to start off with the first new moon energy. So this first new Aries moon was on March 21st. Let's see what it was bringing in for you. Oh, it was bringing in the Ace of Wands. And that's interesting because that feels like an Aries new moon to me, because Ace is a 1, something new, which Aries is, and which new moons are. And Wands is fire energy, and that's Aries season. Aries is a fire sign. Looks like cherries, which is kind of cool. And so this beautiful Ace of Wands. So there may have been some new ideas, something, the cherries make me think of like a sweet idea, some new passion, okay? Something exciting and new that was coming in around March 21st. And now let's see what's happening as we move into our second new moon in Aries on 4/20, okay? And you got the Wheel of Fortune. Now, this is cool because the wheel in numerology, like this is number 10, but we call that a 1 in numerology. And then we had the Ace was a 1. So there's kind of like, it's just kind of interesting, almost like full circle around. Now, this wheel of the year is landed on Yule at the top here. These are all like the pagan holidays. So there may have been some things that you've been working on maybe from Christmas, but this new moon energy, the wheel of the year, this is traditionally called the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so this is something very fortunate coming in. I really like your new moon energy cards. They're really exciting. This is related to Sagittarius. This is related to the bigger picture, foreign travel, and really kind of like an understanding and a certain amount of surrender that comes with that. Okay, so let's see what else you've got going on. Let's see what you have going on in the theme of love, okay? So your love theme, we have the 9 of Pentacles. This is a very interesting version here. That squirrel's got his head covered. 9 of Pentacles is like when everything's kind of at this full heightened number 9. Pentacles is earth energy, but there's almost a sense of boredom here. Okay, it's like everything's good, everything's fine, but there's a sense of boredom. And so kind of these cards next to it of what the new moons are bringing in feel like the total oppositeness of boredom to me. So I would take a look at, where maybe things have gotten a little stale, or maybe we're just not appreciating what we have around us. But this is something that maybe you want to take a look at this month. Okay, now with the theme of work, we have the Page of Pentacles. Interesting how this dog is here kind of digging up this bone that he remembered that he buried there. This page, this young energy, something of value, this pentacle, can almost be like something that was forgotten or something new, or maybe something that you're revisiting again, something of value. Interesting how both of these, love and work, are pentacles energy. Okay, so it looks like maybe there's a new way to refresh this love situation. And again, love can be our relationship with ourselves. It can be our love relationships. It can be our friend relationships. But in some ways, it's almost just like maybe looking at life through some different eyes instead of just through that lens of boredom. Okay, because we do know that fresh energy is coming in for you with these new moons. So for work, Page of Pentacles, page of value, something new. I like it. Okay, now, how can you stay grounded this month? Your first card is the Four of Athams. I think that's what it's called, but traditionally it would be called the Four of Swords. And he's taking a nice nap on a sunny afternoon. He's got his swords in the ground there, and he is snoozing. Four is associated with a pause. He's pausing and really kind of savoring it, right? So this is how you can stay grounded, where it's like, there's a similar vibe here, but he's like appreciating it. Okay, so making sure you get that rest that you need. And here's the King of Swords. He's your other card on how to stay grounded. Now, he's no nonsense. Nobody's going to mess with him, okay? He's protected between his sword and his wolf there, or whatever kind of dog that is. He's the king of big business. He's the king of boundaries. He's the king of communication. He's not going to take any crap from anybody, okay? He's a fierce creature. And so that's what you have down here to help you stay grounded. It's almost like intensity, rest. Intensity, rest. You're in a power position, okay? You have new things coming in. So maybe some things are going to be cleared up from Christmas. And there's a certain amount of surrender, and there's a certain amount of gratitude that needs to be looked at, okay? Interesting with this bat up here at the top. Okay. You know, I almost didn't use the bat because it felt like very Halloweenish to me, but it's a bat and Halloween can't own them. But it's interesting how Salmon is like, you know, the one right behind Yule. So I'm kind of getting the vibe that like something through this period of Halloween of 2022 into Christmas of 2022, you know, into the cold season here in New England, maybe there's just a sense of boredom, but I think something's going to be cleared up. Something's going to show itself. And I see you in a really powerful position. Like something is going to come back up and then the opportunity is going to be there. It's almost like, you know, bats are so thought of as scary and intimidating, and some people will call them creepy, but really like they're really good for our environment. And I think they eat a ton of mosquitoes. And so it's all how we look at it, right? And it's kind of being placed here right over this Nine of Pentacles, how you look at it, how much you appreciate and savor. Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple more cards to see if anything else, did I miss anything? Anything else you need to know this big month of April? I'm going to give you 3 more cards. I think it's that one. All right. Your first card is the Eight of Pentacles. He's very hard at work. Love how the lilacs are blooming right outside his door, which is like something that happens in April or May, right? Lilacs blooming here in Connecticut. So he's hard at work. And I definitely like with this card here, like I definitely could see that there's going to be a lot of hard work, but making sure too that you get this downtime. You got the Queen of Pentacles here. Very prosperous. It actually came in over this Page of Pentacles. So there's like a maturity there in the prosperous, regarding your prosperity. Here's the Hermit. On his path of truth, he's your inner guide. He's moving forward. He's ruled by Virgo, ruled by the planet Mercury. Information being brought, the light being shined so that you can see more clearly. So I get a lot of business energy from here. I think that there's going to be a lot of opportunities, okay? I don't think these opportunities, I think you've had a lot of opportunities. I'm hoping that you'll get a chance to really savor it a little bit more, look at it from a different perspective. I'm going to give you a couple oracles too here to see anything else here theme-wise that you need to know. All right, you're getting 3 oracles. Your first one is Lullaby. This is gorgeous. Okay, and that's kind of like over here near this Four of Swords where it's like relaxing, maybe listening to some good music. This could even be while you're working, listening to some good music. But a lullaby is very soothing, okay? And there's something about soothing yourself. We've got this card that says touch the sky. Interesting. And home in the sky. 2 references to the sky. Look at that. Cool birdhouses. Okay, so yeah, with this travel card, you may actually be traveling a lot this month. Like all these multiple houses here. You could be on the road for work with the Hermit here, with the Wheel of Fortune, the King of Swords. But yeah, so make sure that you're getting, make sure that if you are traveling, that you have maybe some good nighttime music to listen to so you can get to sleep, so you get the rest you need. Because I see you in a very, very profitable situation. And I'm just going to pull one more for some advice on that love, on that 9 of Pentacles. And this one's leaping out at me. And it's the Witch card, which is the Magician. And so this is here to tell you that you have the makings to change whatever situation that you want to change, okay? Just concocting the right potion, the right remedy, okay? Creating the magic in your life. And so this is kind of like from this boredom into this magic, and you can do that. You have all the tools to do that. So if you're, if this love card really hits you as something with a relationship that you're in, remember there's I saw a lot of Venus energy and a lot of emotional energy this month, and a lot of just not deep conversation, but more just gentleness and kind expressions. So maybe, if you're feeling a little bit low in the love department, even though all is well, because this card is definitely saying all is well, you've probably built a beautiful life together, but there's a little bit of boredom. Some of it's seasonal, I think. But some of it is that you just need to concoct the right potion. And so put a little energy into your relationship, whether that be with yourself or with others. Okay. So you could do that I was talking a lot about bringing flowers to people this month, and maybe it's just bringing yourself flowers. Do something to create the magic, that you are the witch, you are the one to make the potion, you are the one who has the power to make this change, okay? And I think that you can do that very easily. All right, well, have a wonderful month ahead. Thank you.